Hi. So I'm gonna show you how to do a card today. I finally figured a way out to do it. I used my EK Success powder tool earlier on, and now I'm using the Lawn Fawn stamp set, the teeny tiny background stamp set. I'm using the stars. I'm gonna do some heat embossing with Ranger clear embossing powder. Now look to your right and you would see um, that I stack up a pile of stuff. On the bottom, you see two Project Life core kits, and on top of it are some Tupperwares. I think that's about like three or four of them. And on top of these Tupperwares sits my recording, my gadget. This is the only way I could figure out how to do it right now. So you have to bear with me. Yeah. Uh, and also, I do apologize. The, the card seems to be like lopsided. It's not on, you can't view it properly. Not on the right position. Yep, my first time recording. So, um, pardon me. So I'm gonna use a heat gun now and heat everything up. Melt the powder and the paper do warp just ever so slightly. Not that it matters much to me because it's only a little bit. Okay, I'm gonna use a Distress ink in Salty Ocean. Yep. And with my mini blending tool, I do have the original size. Now I like this one better because it's smaller, easier to blend. And you would see later on how I actually color in the middle portion of the paper, of the card. You know, we always blend from outside in. And if you want to reach the middle of the card, you would end up with darker edges because you would be blending from the outside in. And with this mini blending tool, I actually go straight to the middle. Later on, you will see it. I go straight to the middle and I just apply the ink. Of course, I do it with a very light hand and build the color from there. This mini blending tool is very forgiving. It doesn't leave that obvious of lines like the original would. So I think I'm gonna get more replacement foams for these. Maple Tree House happened to not have any stock for them, so I wasn't able to get any. So here I'm done and taking out that piece of sticker. And then I use a dry tissue paper, yeah, tissue paper and wipe it all up, so that the stars are more obvious. And I have the coordinating die for my stem set from Lawn Fawn. I believe this is called Trim the Tree. And I'm using VersaFine Onyx black ink. I'm gonna stamp it with my Fiskars compact press. You see, I'm showing you there that you can actually move it before you actually stamp it down. Because of these four corners, all four corners have a little, foam kind of a thingy, which is soft and movable and makes your life easier. Running a bit of a flu, so I do apologize if you hear me sniffing now and then. Okay, now and I have this 6x6 paper pad from Dear Lizzie. It's called Napolitan, and I'm going to show you the papers inside. So it's only printed on one side. The other side is like white, and they have quite a number of flowers in here. A strawberry, which is Very cute. Ice cream, roses. I love the roses. Some banners. I'm trying to find a paper for my basket for the basket for the Christmas tree, and I decided to go with the flower ones, the small dainty flowers. I was thinking of doing the polka dot light green one, but I don't know why. I think I like a more springtime kind of a Christmas tree. Oh goodness, it doesn't sound right at all, but well, I love flowers, so and I don't really want to cut out ornaments for the tree, so I decided to just use the flowers. And I'm using my what's that? Cutter bee. I have the honeybee as well. It works fine. So I'm off camera. Now I'm back on again. First time, people. First time. So I'm gonna paste it on top there, and I realized there's a little spot there that didn't quite get inked up, so didn't stamp properly. So I use my Stabilo black pen and go over it, and it works. It looks fine. Um, Gadget moved a little bit, so I was repositioning it earlier on. Sorry. I'm gonna paste all the pieces down with my Tombow Mono Multi Glue. Very trusty glue. I do like this liquid glue very much. I always make sure I have some spare ones in my so-called um, spare tray. It's a tray where I keep all my spare stuff. Glue, adhesive, stuff like that, foam squares. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out whether I want it in landscape or portrait. So I'm using some foam squares later on and paste it down. Again, I'm using the same paper pad. So it takes a little bit of time to paste them all down and to remove the backings. Now I do have the smaller square ones which I will use later on. Yep, you see there my honeybee. I'm cutting the big square into smaller squares, and then I have some small square ones. There you go. So I'm using those as well. I didn't get that many packets of these small squares. I'm happy I didn't get them because later on I realized that I can actually cut up the big square into fours to get four small squares. And yeah, sometimes I can be dumb like that. So I decided to go portrait, and yeah, I was thinking of landscape earlier on. So yeah. Okay, so I paste the more foam squares down on the basket. Later on, I will remove it because it just doesn't work because the foam squares are too near the edge. Now I realize that the trunk doesn't have any foam squares, and I try to actually slot one in. So here you see I'm having some difficulty, and I try to remove the foam squares and I can't do it. it tears the paper and I have no choice but to do another one. So I did another one and I'm gonna paste it on the tree trunk. On the tree trunk, somewhere near the tree trunk. You know what I mean. So there you go. And we're gonna do the inside of the card. And with my Simon Says stamp, I think this is called Mary Trees. Oh, I can't remember. I don't have it on hand right now. So I use the sentiment in it and I stamp it with Avery L pigment ink in Sugar Plum. I'm gonna show you how it looks like, see. Yeah, for that brief moment, because I actually have to fast forward this video. Otherwise, it would be a 19-minute video instead of like a close to 13 minutes. So I stamp it down, and while stamping, I move a little bit, I shift it, and you can't see it on camera, but I can see it. There's like double stamping, and oh no, that's like a bummer. And I tried to do a one more stamp, a little offset in black, and it just didn't look good. And I need to cover that spot, and I tried to get my one and only circle punch and realized that the size isn't right. So I was figuring how to solve this problem, and I found a die set that I have from Simon Says Stamp. I think it's called Suspension Trees. So yeah, that saves my day. Well, of course, I can use my Martha Stewart circle cutter and do it, but I'm lazy in that way, so it's just behind me. But yeah, I'm just too lazy to even turn around and get it. So here I'm using the die and I am gonna cut it out with my Sizzix Big Shot machine. I have it in pink. Yeah. So once I cut it out, I'm gonna paste it on top there with my mono tom with my mo sorry with my Tombow liquid glue, and I'm using a black gel pen going all around stitches